All right, so let's get our D8 blog series underway here. The first thing I wanted to kind of do is let's install Drupal 8 together and just point and click around and see what we're starting to notice that's a little bit different. Just remember that things are going to change. Nothing's set in stone, and D8 is still under very, very, very active development. Right now, I just basically have D8 in a folder. I just wanted to take a look at this. We already noticed a big change that things are a little bit better and a little bit more organized here. Now, when we look here, we have a core folder that basically has all of your core elements that you don't want to mess with. So core is actually a lot tighter, a lot cleaner, which is just a good way to do it. And now our modules and sites folders are in the root, which makes a lot more sense. So without even installing it, I took a look at the folder structure after downloading it from Drupal.org. We already see a difference just in the file structure. Let's go ahead and get to the browser here. We are at the default screen when you begin to install Drupal. Doesn't look too much different from D7. Not sure if they're going to be changing too much more, but let's just go ahead and save and continue on. Okay, still get to select an installation profile. I'm just going to go ahead with the standard. Okay, here's our database stuff. Still looks pretty familiar. Now again, I'm not going to do a direct correlation between D7. If just something massive stands out, we're going to look at it. But for now, let's just go ahead and do this. So we're just quickly installing this. It looks like the same installer there. So there's something new. Installed views. I think even saw date time going in there. So configuration manager. So we are seeing some new stuff in the modules area that we're pretty much aware of, but it's at least we're seeing them now on the standard install. Views, there we go. Little views UI for you. Definitely seems to take a little bit longer, but it's obviously a lot more going on there. Some stuff has been removed, but some pretty heavy lifting things have gone in. All right, let's take a look here. Most of this pretty much looks the same here. Let's just... All right, our congratulations screens. So now we've got Drupal 8 installed. Not too much different there. We just saw a few little new modules being installed, and it pretty much went through the same basic step-by-step process. Let's go ahead and visit our new site. Let's take a look around. Let's see what's changed in Drupal 8. Well, the overall theme still seems to look pretty much the same, but right off the bat, let's take a look at some changes. We can already see, obviously, our toolbar is completely different. Contextual menus now has, looks to me like an edit icon of some kind. Yeah, let's see what some of this stuff does. Menu. Okay, so now our menu is basically looks to be like a flyout of some kind. Where now here's our content, our structure, our appearance. Extend. So it looks like we've gone from modules to extend. Shortcuts still look somewhat the same. Hey, look at that. What is that? So there's something pretty cool. We can take our menu system and we can throw it to the sidebar. That's actually going to be pretty helpful, especially for some responsive stuff. This is actually supposed to be responsive out of the box, I believe. Let's go ahead and take a look to see what it does. Yeah. So it automatically scaled to that sidebar menu responsively anyways. So let's resize this back. Let's take a look around in some of these, see if we notice anything too different. Let's look at content. Okay, our admin theme obviously looks a little bit more polished, a little bit more clean. The buttons stand out a little bit more. This is not too much different here. Let's go ahead and look at our structure. Custom block manage, custom block types. What do we got going here? Custom block types. Okay, that's pretty cool. Taxonomy, structure. Now we've got views. All right, before we dive into that, let's just take a look at the appearance menu. Looks like we've got a little bit nicer, cleaner message system here. Not much different, but still. This all looks pretty familiar. Let's get the people. Everything else is kind of looking the same. I mean, our admin theme is a little bit cleaner, and this is a lot nicer to look at too. I really wish they would have brought in the module that allows you to have the side option to filter all this and categorize it, but this is still pretty nice. We have a dynamic search though, so let's say, aha, so that's not bad. We'll see what happens when we click install new module, see if that's changed at all, but until then, let's finish our menu here. Let's look at configuration. Looks like overlay is still enabled by default, so that's pretty cool. If you like that, I know a lot of people that don't, but okay, a lot of this, pretty much the look and feel here looks the same. Okay. Synchronization configurations. Okay, this is probably some new stuff here. Let's look at our report stuff. Most of this looks the same, although we got some views, plugins, things going on here. Let's look at help. Help's looking pretty close to being the same. Let's go back to home. It's the pencil over here. Oh. Wow, it turns all the contextual menus on and off. Still get a highlight notification. Let's take a look at what happens when we, okay, so it's still the contextual menu, just a typical stuff that's normally in there, but now we've got a nice icon. Look at that, you can edit the view. So, so our homepage is now an actual view by default too. That's an advantage of having views installed, so now we don't actually have to change that. That's pretty sweet. Let's see my account page, see if anything looks different there. No, pretty much everything else is looking pretty much just like D7. Let's start diving into some of these things again. Structure. Let's go ahead and look at the blocks page. Place blocks. Search next all blocks. Okay. Some of this stuff is different. I'm pretty sure a lot of this is also going to have some more work being done to it. As our menu page is looking differently. And we just got these drop downs and stuff now. It's kind of nice. Let's take a look at let's go ahead and take a look at some of the views interface, see if it's not much has changed. I mean, it's just cleaned up. Enabled, disabled views. So now, yeah, our first enabled view is our front page. Let's go ahead and edit a view. Let's edit our front page view. Let's see what this looks like. Kind of the views we're used to looking at. Everything's, it's good to see that an interface that it works and we're pretty used to is still there. Are you able to change any of the advanced view settings? Let's check out view settings page. Yeah, okay, very cool. Views isn't core, guys, and it's looking good. And I mean, it's making Drupal, core Drupal, more like something people can use. It's just when you have to download something and automatically install a set of modules, it's just good to see those types of things finally getting into core. Let's go back to the modules page. Let's test this install new module. Nothing much has changed there. Let's look at admin, view profile, edit profile, log out. Okay. Let's go look at configuration, account settings. All right, so by default, we've got a personal contact form. This looks the same. This looks a little cleaner, a little bit nicer to the eye to look at. Drupal 8 is just, I mean, it's starting to look a lot more mature here. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the synchronization configurations. So I'm sure this is something we'll dive in another blog post all about the initiative to make so we can now have all of our point and click stuff put into files. So it's a lot easier to push to production and other machines, all that type of stuff. So it's being taken out of the database. I don't really want to dive into that because I'm sure we're going to cover that throughout the series of these blog posts. But we can now see stuff like that is in our configuration settings. Let's actually take a look to see if we've got any responsiveness in the default. Can I hide my menu? Yeah. All right. Look at our home tab. Admin goes on top. All right. So we can see it now. It's ready. It's pretty cool. Let's see what happens if we add content in this small. Whoa. Hey. So overlay seems to be okay. Let's see what it looks like. Okay. This is not bad. Cool. Save and publish as a drop down. Save as unpublished. That's pretty sweet. Preview. Now these are all like drop downs when we're in this setting. Let's go back to a regular size. Okay. Wow. So we're adding an article. This screen is cleaned up a lot. Create new revisions. This stuff is all collapsed by default. And here's our WYSIWYG and core. It looks actually pretty decent. Basic HTML, restricted, full image. Going to do one. Let's look at our structure and our content types. Let's see if anything's changed in there, and then let's see where we can find some WYSIWYG configurations. Okay, so now it's manage field, manage display. Let's manage the fields. Not too much different here. Let's edit our image field. Not much has changed. Widget type. Image field settings. All right, limited. Let's make it unlimited. This looks a little different. That's pretty cool. Finally, I like a little counter. Let's set this to unlimited. Save it. See how things look when we save something. Let's go to content. Let's go ahead and add content. Let's add an article. See what it looks like now. So, okay, so now we can actually choose. It's using what I think is the HTML5 file adder. So now we can add multiple files without having to constantly keep adding more of these boxes for adding more files. That's pretty sweet. All right, so where do you configure our WYSIWYG? I could click this, but I'm going to go see if I can just find it in configuration. Before there was a setting for it, but I'm assuming, here we go, text formats and editors. Basic, restricted, full. It's telling you what editor it's using. You can add text formats. Let's configure basic HTML, see how much different this is. Oh, look at this. I'm not sure what that bar is. So we can, oh wow, that's very nice. Okay. Cool. You can add dividers and spacers. Oh wow, so now with the styles drop down selected, we can add our styles here. I don't know if it has anything to do with it being selected, but look, now you get your styles. Your filters, processing order, a lot of that's pretty much looks all familiar. It's just all kind of cleaned up, and now you can customize your text editor. That's pretty sweet. Again, I know it's not everyone's favorite, but it had to happen, and let's just hope we find ways to make it work. Well, I mean, we went over a lot of the basics. We saw D8 installer. We can now see some of the new stuff's being added. I'm sure we'll go in depth later on these things. I really just wanted to get D8 installed and take a look around and see how it's shaping up, what's different, and it's starting to become a pretty clean CMS. And I mean, I'm getting pretty excited to see what else it's gonna offer us. I don't think we're going to see too many huge changes as we go through this when it comes to all this point and click look and feel. A lot of the stuff that's starting to happen is on the back end, but I hope this helped you out. Now you don't have to take the time to do this yourself. And so this kind of starts off the investigation and our D8 blog series.